Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of NYJFTV. I'm one of your hosts, Kevin Sirkin, and we're here live outside of MetLife Stadium right now with Fireman Ed and Rob Carpenter. And I thought we were going to be back here at 4-5 with a chance for 500. Unfortunately, the Jets let us down in Miami. A tough loss there. Very undisciplined. Horrible in the red zone again. Poor quarterback play. But the big news out of that game was Mo and Sheldon getting benched for the first quarter after missing a team meeting. Ed, what are your thoughts on these two guys and really the impression that they're leaving on the rest of that locker room?
It's very disheartening, disappointing, to say the least. Mo is a team leader. Sheldon's probably the best player on the team. I don't know if he's a leader, but he brings it all on the field when he's there. If he's not pushing somebody's face mask into the ground, there's always, you just never know what you're going to get with him. He's a loose cannon. There's just no doubt about it. Great player. Just disappointing, man. The whole overall aspect of the team. I seen this in Pittsburgh. When I was sitting in Pittsburgh, I told you guys this. I seen Mo and Sheldon over there in the end of the bench, and I said, there's something ain't right. This is something not right. And, you're not privy. Once again, we say the same thing. We're not privy. Rob has seen this, in his career, and, unfortunately for me, I didn't play the game at that level, so... But, very disheartening. The whole team in general is disheartening. Between giving two special teams plays up and, losing to Miami that way, it's pathetic what's going on, Fitz throwing the interception in the end zone there, a phantom, I don't know what he was even thinking about with that. Like maybe his arm, like you guys said, his arm, he couldn't reach. What am I going to tell you?
Rob?
Yeah, like I said, man, it's real disheartening, I did think this week we had a chance to, pull out a victory, but, when the game started and everybody noticed that Sheldon and Mo wasn't on the field, kind of knew something was up. And, to find out everything that actually went on during the week, it's disappointing. And at this point, but I actually made an observation back in Kansas City where I noticed that, the defensive guys were kind of getting a little heated about the things that were going on the offensive side of the ball, and me being, having played the game at this level and know what things that go on in the locker room at times, I kind of had the inclination that something was going to be happening within a few weeks, and it seems like kind of just boiled over. Mo being one of the leaders on the team and a guy who, for years, has laid it out on the field. And Sheldon being one of the guys that actually is, as Ed said, probably the best player on the team itself. And, those guys, when they go out, when the defensive guys go out on the field and they doing the best that they can to try to keep the team in the game. And, you have a quarterback that's not exactly leading the offense right now. And other guys are kind of waiting their turn, but, you see the coaches and the management team actually out there backing the guy who isn't getting the job done. It's going to make a difference for the defensive guys on the side of the ball. And I kind of see it. Everybody has been complaining about Revis not putting it all out on the field. But I think in his mind, if he's saying, he's looking at the coaching staff and saying, look, if these guys aren't giving us a chance to win, what am I out here for? You know what I mean? So I'm going to be out here not trying to get hurt. And, I think it's kind of festering on the defensive side of the ball. Hopefully, and it's not looking good, next couple of weeks. There really isn't,
It's a joke.
The light at the end of the tunnel is a train coming to hit everybody in the head. So, it just looks that way. But hopefully, going forward, the younger guys on the team actually get a chance to show what they can do. And the future is in their hands right now.
Yep. Sticking with Mo just for a second, the thing that I think is so frustrating is that I don't even know anymore where to place blame on this team. We talked about a little bit last week about the leadership or the lack of leadership on this team. But if Maccagnan didn't want Mo Wilkerson here, because if you follow the timeline, when Maccagnan got hired, the Jets had plenty of money. They had plenty of cap room. Mm-hmm. They paid Revis, they paid Cromartie even, they paid Screen. They didn't give anything to Mo because we knew that some of these incidents were actually happening back in 2014. Then again last year, he gets suspended for the first quarter in the Giant game, so it's still going on. So why the hell would Maccagnan actually want to invest big-time money in Mo, especially after he used a first-round pick on Leonard Williams? It almost seems like this is coming from the top of Woody Johnson.
I don't know about Woody Johnson. I think they wanted to pay Mo because Mo has shown that he's got massive talent. I mean, he had a monster year last year. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he was playing very hard. I can't go into all of that. We're getting too crazy with that.
No.
As far as I'm concerned, what really bothers me, and it's funny. Todd Bowles is in his second year. Okay, this regime's in their second year, and it seems like they are coaching for their jobs. Like he doesn't want to, like, he's playing Fitz because he gives him the best chance to win. But now if you feel like you're in this thing for the long haul, wouldn't you know what you have? Why wouldn't you be going and playing Petty and see what you have? I mean, let's face it. They say, until we're mathematically out of it. Well, guess what? You're done. You're playing the Patriots twice. You ain't sweeping them. That's not happening. Okay, so, I mean, it's very frustrating to watch what's going on here and how, they're playing for their job. It seems like he's playing for his coaching job. If that's the case, what are we doing? I mean, he's only in his second year here. I mean, if that's the case, it's pathetic. What's going on is pathetic right now. I just don't like anything that's going on here. You got guys quitting that are actually not playing. I mean, it's unbelievable. And you sit here and you watch this. You're like, something's got to give. Something's going to give, I believe. I mean, I don't know if they're going to wipe these guys out, when the season's over. I believe like 3, 4, 5 guys in the defense that are starting right now won't be here. And this was a team that we talked about was going to have a shot at being one of the best defenses in the league. What the hell happened?
Rob?
I think that's the big question. What happened? And right now, nobody has the answers. When you look at the offensive side of the ball, the expectations that were there for Fitz, Marshall, the additions of Forte, and from game one, the struggles in the red zone have just, festered from that game on for the rest of the season. And then, people like to say that Fitz is kind of like a gunslinger. Well, at some point in time, you got to stop shooting and just look around and see what's there. And at this point in time, nobody knows what Bowles and McCagnon are thinking, because everybody sees the big picture, and it's not Fitz. And you've got Petty, you got Hack. It's time to actually just sit down and give these guys a chance to see what they have. And if Petty can get the job done, let him run with it. If he can't, give Hack a chance. Because nothing is going to come out of this season other than much more bitter disappointment. If Fitz is still there. But on the defensive side of the ball, like I said, there was hopes that this was to be one of the best defenses in the league. And from game one, it didn't start out that way. The guys defensive backfield were getting beat, like a drum, and the only hope that we had for the defense was that the front seven could put a lot of pressure on the other opposing offense, and in Cincinnati they did, But after that, things kind of went haywire, and we really don't know what's going on right now. That's just a little frustrating for the whole team and for the fans to see what's going on. So, going forward, have no idea what's going to happen. But coming up this week with the Rams, if Fitz is in there and he's not getting the job done, hopefully these guys actually finally just decide to make that switch and just see what Petty or Hack can do.
So sticking with Todd Bowles for a second, I've actually been encouraged these last 3 games. He's made some of the halftime adjustments that we've been asking for. The defense has played a little bit better in the second half. But then he comes out and he says some of these things that just drive you nuts. He's saying that Mo's still a leader, that he's happy with the effort he's getting from Revis. Even today he says that, Fitz is the quarterback because he hasn't made enough mistakes yet. Some of these things that he's saying, the fans aren't stupid. We can see right through this, When is it going to change with him?
I'm going to tell you something, he's a Parcells disciple, and I constantly go back to that because he does talk to him, and I just think if Parcells had this team right now, and he had this defense, I believe that he would cut one of them guys on that team. I believe he would make a statement and just all of a sudden, whoa. he got cut, and I'm waiting for him to do that because there's a few guys that are ripe that you could cut and make a statement because you're the head coach. Well, if you're the head coach and you're going to stay the head coach, nothing's working. They're obviously questioning your defensive your defensive coordinator, and they're questioning you. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I see it when I'm there at the games and I'm looking. I see that that's happening. So if I'm you, Todd, I cut one of those guys. It's your team. Make a statement. Unless you think this is your last year coaching. You know, it's the only thing I can think.
I don't think he would actually cut somebody, but he should actually just start putting guys on the bench. If things are as haywire as it's, being reported right now, the way things are going in the locker room and in meetings, he needs to actually sit guys down to let it be known that he's running a tight ship. But it just seems like the wheels are falling off the wagon, and one thing is leading to another. I definitely know if Parcells was here, Fitz would not be actually in that be the starting quarterback.
He'd be long gone
because he would have been benched a long time ago, which is disheartening, knowing that as I've spoken about before, when you have a guy who's actually the quarterback and he's not getting the job done, it takes an effect on the rest of the team, especially on the defense. When those guys are actually out there busting their butt to try to keep the team in the game, and you have a guy who's out there making a lot of mistakes to turn the ball over, which he's done, and also struggling in the red zone, that has an effect on defensive guys. They're out there doing their job, and they're looking at the one guy who's actually supposed to be the guy on this team, and he's not getting the job done. And the coaching staff is not giving other guys an opportunity to see what they can do. It has an effect, and I think that's what we're seeing right now.
All right, so looking at one of the positives that we actually saw from Sunday, these young wide receivers are actually starting to step up. Robbie Anderson, he's been open all year. You've been talking about Quincy all year. I don't know why they don't look for him a little bit more, but, you got these young guys that are stepping up at wide receiver. Even on the offensive line, you got Clady out for the year now, so you got Igelana who's going to be sliding over to left tackle. I thought Wesley Johnson did a decent job at center. So you do have some young guys that are starting to step up a little bit.
Yeah, with Robbie Anderson, I mean, Robbie's obviously he's got some talent. He's a young, talented kid, but he needs to put some weight on. I mean, he doesn't break a tackle. He goes down immediately. I mean, listen, the wide receivers are good, but we need to get, in this offseason, offensive linemen. Now, Sheldon Richardson, they were talking about a first-round pick. We just talked about trying to get it. Dallas Cowboys, that's the team you go after, because if they don't want to give you a first-round pick, they got to pull a bunch of guys on that offensive line. Grab one of them. We want to have, you see the handwritings on the wall with Nick Mangold. Love Nick, but the handwritings on the wall. The Brickashaw just left. You need a center, you need an offensive tackle. And then you have these young guys. The team, there's a lot of pluses, like you said. There's a lot of pluses on the team. It's not like it's a complete collapse. I don't believe that no how, no way. So, but you got to find out who your signal caller is. Like Rob said, these guys are disheartened because basically Fitz shit the bed. Excuse my language, but he did. And, we didn't expect that. I don't think any of us did. So, well, maybe. Maybe Rob did. Maybe Rob did.
I actually have said ever since the preseason, hopefully Fitz didn't go back to Buffalo Fitz, but the past has said that he was going to go back to Buffalo Fitz, and that's basically what we got. And last year was just that anomaly that he had, being with a new team. It's which seems when he actually gets to a new arena, he plays well in the beginning, and then he falls back. But as you guys were just talking about, the basis of the team is here. The offense is basically young with some guys on the offensive line that are young. The receivers are young. These guys can actually play. If you actually get a quarterback in who's fairly young as well, these guys can actually grow together, and this team could be a force for a while. Most of the guys on the defense, the talented guys, are young. So that's the basis of the team itself. Like Ed said, hopefully if they're going to deal Sheldon, you're going to have to go for a team who has a stable of offensive linemen, and maybe you can get a trade in there for something for him like that if no one is actually willing
Tony
to give
Romo.
I wouldn't go down that rail right there either, because that's just like bringing, not talent-wise bringing Fitz in, but as far as Romo being, his health is in question. And he really, I don't think he's actually played a full season in more than 2 years.
Same thing as with Favre. It'd be the same way as like when we got Favre.
Yeah.
He already was beaten up.
The talent is there, but the question would be health, and I don't think Romo would be able to last a full season, which would be just like recycling another quarterback over again, and you're trying to start all over again. So, but there's guys here on the roster that they need to get a chance. But going forward, man, we just gonna have to wait and see what goes on. I'm hoping that Todd Bowles and Mike McCagnon actually get together and look at the big picture and just say, look, we got a lot of young guys on this team. It's about time to actually give these guys a chance to see what we have. So when the offseason comes around, those guys can make decisions on the guys that they actually need to go after.
All right, so looking ahead to this Sunday, just got the Rams coming in, another team with a struggling quarterback but a very fast defense that could give our offensive line some fits. What are you expecting to see this Sunday? Are the Jets going to pack it in, or are they actually going to show up a little bit pissed off, ready to play?
I have no faith in them at all. First time I'm saying it during the course of the year. Absolutely not. You give up 2 special teams scores. That's saying something in itself. The defense, I have no faith in the defense. None whatsoever. You got these guys mailing it in. I mean, so how am I going to, and we don't know what we have with Fitz. I mean, we know what we have with Fitz. That's a problem. And, I'll be here. I'm not going to be happy, but I'll be here. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I really can't tell you. Losing to Miami like we lost to Miami was so. I wanted to break every TV. It was ridiculous what went on there, and they were giving us the game. They were literally giving us the game. The punt, dropped the ball. I mean, Fitz just threw the interception, and he bunted the ball, and we still got the ball back. And then we take the lead, right? He makes a nice pass to Jalen Marshall, who, and then we give the
10 seconds later.
We give the kickoff return. I mean, of all things, I mean that was coaching too. I mean, come on. I mean, when you're going down the field, the last thing you want is you're going to have at least a safety back. You're going to have a safety back there. Listen, if he breaks something, we got a guy back there. What is happening? Like, this is 101 football, man.
I don't think, for some reason, I don't think they were in tune to what actually really went on at that point in time. I think Folk could actually kick the ball out of the end zone. Why they actually chose on the second kickoff to actually still give them a chance to return, I have no idea, knowing that guys actually just ran down the field to cover the first kickoff. And the guy actually, it wasn't an easy first kickoff. It took a lot of guys to actually bring him down and then have to go back and do it over again. That was kind of a real questionable call to keep that ball in play, to give them another chance to actually return that kickoff. So, but this week, honestly, I fear for Fitz because, the Rams, front four, is one of the best in the league. And those guys get after the quarterback. And if Fitz is, on a hobbled knee and not 100%, it's going to be tough on him. So, not wishing ill will on anybody, I just fear the fact that he might not make it through the game if he's actually not able to move around. So, he may end up getting to see Petty or Hack anyway because Rams defense is tough, man. And it's not an easy team to go against from what those front four can do, because those guys are quick, athletic, and they get after the quarterback.
All right, well, that's going to do it for another episode of NYJFTV. For myself, Ed, and Rob, we thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please be sure to follow us on social media. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We appreciate all your likes, all your comments, all your feedback, and we'll see you again next week.
Do Hooters girls make your beer stay colder and your wings taste better? Do they make the greatest month of football ever even greater? Yes. Yes, they do.